What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? It's your boy Pip, and we are back this time for something new that I thought we'd try out, especially with Summerslam. Just having night one finishing up and being so big that we're having two nights this year, and going forward, hopefully, that is the new standard. And as wrestling continues to grow, maybe more PLEs will be like this. So I thought this was the right time for us to try and start potentially doing reviews, Pip reviews. Just talking about what happened, how I felt about it. I don't want it to be a super like play-by-play commentary because the videos would take forever. But we're just going to kind of go through each match, talk about the major driving points, and what I think the consequences, repercussions, and benefits of whatever may have happened could be. So let's get started with night one of SummerSlam. Kicked off with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Jey came out first. He was the very first entrance of the show. Then Roman, then Braun and Bronson coming out together, showing that unity between one another. I still think they need a team name or a faction name or something, but not bad. Started off pretty good. Bronson and Breaker kind of double teaming Jey Uso, holding him off for a while until eventually Jey gets the tag in for Roman, brings it in. They end up going back and forth, a couple more tags here and there. And then basically things kind of heated up when Braun Breaker went for a huge spear outside the ring like he likes to do, gets caught with a massive Superman punch, and then lined up and gets speared through the corner where they like to do that big spear for Breaker. Roman did it to him. They get back in the ring. Bronson takes down Roman, gets Jey back in the ring, gets ready to go for a big tsunami. Roman hits a huge Superman punch off the turnbuckle, bringing Reed in. It looks like they're setting up for what Brett and I both assumed was going to be a double spear. It ended up being a 1D with Roman lifting Bronson and Jey hitting that cutter portion of it to be a huge 1D moment. Breaker was able to break up the pin, though. But then the close of the match was where things really surprised people. Breaker gets ready to hit Jey with a spear, and Roman pushes Jey out of the way, taking the spear and the metaphorical bullet for Roman, or for Jey. Roman takes the bullet. Jey hits a spear on, hits a super kick on Breaker somehow takes Breaker out of the ring, hits Bronson Reed with a spear, hits him with an Uso splash, and wins the match. Now, there's who should have won this match aside. We all knew Roman and Jey were going to win. The big thing here, the big major two plot points are Roman taking a bullet for Jey, finally being the one to put himself in harm's way instead of being the one protected. And two, Jey getting the pin. Really gives Jey that almost that that stamp of approval, saying like, you are one of our guys going forward. So great way to start the show. Absolutely loved it. Roman and Jey picking up a big win. Absolutely. It's hard to say it was the right choice, but if Roman and Jey were going to win, this was absolutely the right way to do it. In the second match of the night, we had another tag team match, this one for some titles, as Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defended those women's tag team titles against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. The match was pretty back and forth. It was your pretty standard match until Charlotte was getting ready to do something to Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel Rodriguez was getting ready to do something to Charlotte. Alexa Bliss came in to hit that big punch that she does to the back of Raquel. Roxanne pulled her out of the way. Alexa accidentally hit Charlotte, which then led to Alexa getting hit with a Charlotte getting hit with a Tawana bomb, and then rolled into a pop rocks, which really looked like it was going to be the end of the match. But Alexa was able to make the save and not let the match end there. And then she broke up the pin with like this really cool like seated position, like almost like blockbuster neck breaker kind of thing. It was really cool. And then she pulled Charlotte over to the corner to tag herself in, and then kind of cleared the ring a little bit, and then got Roxanne ready for the Sister Abigail DDT that she does. And Charlotte gets back in the ring and is like staring at her, and it looks like she's about to turn on her, and then she big boots Raquel. Alexa hits the Sister Abigail DDT, and they win the titles. I think that unfortunately, this is the formula. We all kind of saw this coming because this is what WWE does. They like making odd pairings that result in tag team championship runs. But I think it had to happen this time. Charlotte is being cheered for. Alexa didn't have a lot going on. This is the right way to handle this for the time being. So if this can keep the tag team titles in an interesting situation until Liv Morgan gets back, and then Judgment Day get them back right before Liv gets back, maybe, just so that there seems to be like Roxanne and Raquel being on the same page to add that tension for Liv, then I think this is the right decision. But really good to see Charlotte's character growth, not just instantly attacking Alexa for what happened, realizing it was a miscue and locking it in to win the tag titles. I hate when I watch people in pro wrestling just turn on their partner because of an accidental contact. It was an accident. Be smart. And we finally got that tonight from Charlotte Flair. So that was huge. So yeah, new tag team champions. That's cool. Moving on, we got Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. This was a fairly bog standard match. Kross was kind of beating up Sami Zayn pretty good. Sami eventually hit a Blue Thunder Bomb to kind of stagnate the match a little bit. And then at some point, Scarlett gave Sami Zayn the pipe that Kross beat Zayn with last time. It looked like Sami was thinking about using it. He ended up saying no. He hit an exploder suplex and then the haluva kick and won the match. It was a very disappointing way for the match to end. It was a very lackluster ending to this feud, in my opinion. It was the wrong winner, in my opinion. I do think Karrion Kross should have won here. Sami Zayn doesn't need to be invincible. He doesn't need to win all these big matches. And I think that it would have been huge for Karrion Kross, and they could have had a ready-made star, but I just don't think they're willing to go with him. I don't know what it is. Hopefully they have plans for him, or hopefully they just let him go and he can go somewhere else where he can be appreciated. Maybe back to TNA. I don't know. But it was a predictable ending to a predictable match, and it was kind of lackluster. And honestly, in my opinion, the lowest point of night one of SummerSlam. In the fourth match, we had Tiffany Stratton defending the women's championship against Queen of the Ring winner Jade Cargill. It was a pretty bog standard match. It wasn't, there was nothing about it that screamed like barn burner, but it also, there weren't any major like moments in it that made me say, oh God, this is so bad. Kind of like how it was with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. It was definitely palatable and tolerable. It looked like Jade Cargill was going to get the win after she hit Stratton with a jaded. But then when she rolled her up, she kind of rolled Stratton's foot into the ropes, and I like that they played on it as that is Jade being a rookie and still not having the veteran nature to know roll to the center of the ring, hit your move in the center of the ring, etc., etc. Hit her with a big choke slam afterwards, went for a top rope jaded. Stratton performed almost like a victory roll to send Jade to the ring, and then hit the PME for the win. Tiffany retained. The match is nothing to write home about. The match is very skippable. It's not bad. Like you don't have to skip it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not hard to watch, but it doesn't matter. But I do like that there was a bit of a surprise. I like that, one, I think that Jade was getting pushed a little too fast, a little too soon, and a little too hard. And I think her finally losing a match clean is really healthy, because now we get to see how she handles it. And hopefully she turns heel, because she works so much better as a heel. But we'll have to wait and see. But the bigger thing is, this really shows how much confidence and how much trust WWE has in Tiffany Stratton. They believe in her, and they have a rocket strapped to her back. And her being the first woman to pin Jade Cargill clean as a whistle in WWE is huge. Genuinely huge. So congratulations to Tiffany Stratton for that. And that is the I think that between this match and the Sami Zayn Karrion Kross match, the Kross Zayn match was a little bit more spectacle-ish. They're very close. The reason that this is above that is because there was a genuine surprise. There was genuine moment that made for this to feel like it was something special. The penultimate match of the night was the celebrity match with Jelly Roll and Randy Orton taking on Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. This was a fine match, honestly. Really surprised that Jelly Roll started the match. Was kind of putting the work on Logan Paul. Drew McIntyre got in, and that suddenly changed. Eventually, Randy Orton got the hot tag. Things heated up. The big thing came when eventually Jelly Roll was on the table outside, was placed on the table, the announcer table, and Logan Paul hit a top rope to announcer table frog splash like he loves to do, but he hit it on Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll took that bump like a champion. Or I guess he took that spot. He really didn't take a bump. He was just sitting there, but he took that spot like a champion. The story then became Jelly Roll's injured. They're helping him to the back. Randy is getting bullied and gets a moment of offense, which inspires Jelly. He comes back, gets the hot tag, hits these big moves, hits a massive chokeslam on Logan Paul. Now, I will say the chokeslam looked great. The stagnant, just sitting there holding him, talking to him, was a little too long for my taste. It made it look weird that Logan didn't even try and fight out of it. But Logan, to his credit, as much as I don't like Logan Paul the person, Logan Paul the wrestler might be one of the most naturally talented people on the roster. He made that chokeslam look fucking mint. Drew McIntyre comes in. We get a big boss man slam, or as they called it, the black roll slam instead of the black hole slam like Abyss called it. He went for something else. I don't remember what. I don't remember how it got exactly to where it got. But eventually, oh, I do remember. McIntyre hit a huge Claymore on Jelly Roll. Randy Orton came into the ring, hit an RKO on Drew. Logan sent Orton into the post, went up, hit that big frog splash, and got the win, pinning Jelly Roll. Two things here. Big surprise in Jelly Roll and Orton not getting the win. I really thought they would. But bigger surprise, Jelly Roll was low-key a really good person in this match in terms of taking moves, giving moves, being willing to do stuff. He really seemed into it. So it was good. It was healthy. I liked it. I actually had a good time watching it. I like Jelly Roll, so I'm not one of the people that's hating on the idea of Jelly Roll being in this spot. I still think that it was weird to use Orton and Drew for this. They could have done Logan Paul and The Miz versus Jelly Roll and R-Truth or something like that. I don't know. Obviously, Logan and Miz have some issues from the past, but whatever. You could have used mid-carders to make this moment happen. I think that it could have been done differently, but I digress. It was actually a pretty decent match. And then in the main event, Gunther defended the World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk. It was actually a really, really good match. Gunther was kind of putting in work. Gunther was beating Punk up quite a bit. There was a reoccurring trend of Punk going for a GTS and just not being able to get it. Eventually, there was this moment where they were outside of the ring and Gunther was taunting. He was really putting in the work on Punk. Punk was struggling to survive in this match, and I thought it was almost over. And he was taunting, standing on the table, and Punk swept him out just like he did to Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. And I need you to understand that. That's important for the rest of the story. Just like he did to Drew, he swept his leg, changed the tide of everything. Gunther recovers from the hitting the table and is crimson masked. If you watch it back, you can clearly see he didn't even hit his face. So no, do not worry. It was not legit. He definitely bladed himself under the table. That's not the point. They get back in the ring and suddenly Punk is on the offensive. He's putting in work. He's hitting that brutal, the corner knee, the clothesline, everything. Ends up hitting a huge GTS. Gunther sells it like $1 million, does the stagger, slowly leans forward. Punk picks him up for a second GTS. Gunther falls to the ground slowly like a sack of potatoes. It was amazing the way he just slowly collapsed to his back. And CM Punk pins Gunther for a huge moment. CM Punk is your new world heavyweight champion. The celebration's going, and then it happens. The music hits. Burn it down. CM Punk's music stops. Seth Rollins' music starts. Out comes Paul Heyman with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then out comes Seth Rollins on crutches, wearing a suit, wearing a massive knee brace, and basically says, "You enjoy it while you have it. I have until June. You enjoy it while you can. I'll see you soon." Blah, 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 blah. Turns around, starts walking away, stops, drops the crutches, turns around, takes the brace off, takes the shirt off, charges the ring, cashes in Money in the Bank, gets in a minor scuffle with Punk, hits the stomp, and pins CM Punk, your new World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. And then just as a little ode to the past, as his first cash in all those years ago at WrestleMania 31 was called the Heist of the Century. This has now been dubbed by the commentary team the Ruse of the Century. I love this. I called this. I predicted this. If you go watch my prediction video, I only got 2 things wrong tonight, and that was Jade Cargill not winning and Jelly Roll and Randy Orton not winning. But everything else, I predicted it. I predicted the women's tag team title change. I predicted Roman and Jay. I predicted Sami Zayn. And I predicted CM Punk and Seth Rollins then cashing in and winning. And I just could feel it. It was brilliant. It was honestly might be the best cash in ever because it was done so fucking masterfully. But it was also a little obvious if you just thought about it. But some people thought that they were leaning into it as a fake swerve, as a red herring, and that's what was beautiful about it, is there was no way to know for sure. What I need from this is them to address the repercussions of him doing this. Did he actually get hurt in that match with LA Knight and then they played it up? Or did he feign the injury against LA Knight? And I understand they might not tell us the truth, but I need an in-story reason, because if he feigned the injury against LA Knight, why? Why wouldn't he beat LA Knight while hurt and then say, I got hurt? That way he still beat LA Knight, because then otherwise, and honestly, maybe this is the plan, LA Knight should be pretty high up in line to face Seth. He beat Seth at the last PLE, at Saturday Night's Main Event. So that is night 1 of SummerSlam this year. Let me know what you guys thought of night 1. Let me know what you guys are excited for night 2, which at the time that this comes out will be on in about 6 hours. We'll do another one of these tomorrow for night 2 as well. And I'm going to try and start doing these a little bit more just to add a little bit more wrestling content to the channel. So let me know what you guys thought of SummerSlam night 1. I hope you guys enjoy SummerSlam night 2. If you're watching this before night 2, let me know what you're excited for tonight. And with all that being said, as always, I am Pip. Y'all are the greatest. And when in doubt, we'll see you next time. See ya!